morning, everybody. Welcome once again. My name is Mary Patricia Smiley, and I am a yoga teacher who does yoga for scoliosis. Really happy to be here with you all this morning once again. So remember, June is the month of scoliosis awareness. So for this reason, I've been doing a pose every day, either a pose every day, or I've been doing a little bit of a gentle sequence that we can work towards so that we have a home practice. Now remember, this is not supposed to replace anything that a health practitioner has done. This is just a disclaimer I'm putting in here. So anything you're working with a health practitioner, with a chiropractor, with a PT, you can continue to do those things. These things are particularly more supplementary to everything that you've been doing, okay? So take it easy with all the things that I'm going to be offering. They're very simple. They're things you can do with items that you have around your house, all right? Just so that you can continue to move while you are indoors. Right, all right then team. So today we're going to do something very simple, very, very simple indeed. Just hands on the wall. So, in comparison to what we did yesterday, this is one of the easiest things that you can do. This is something that's universal. It's across the board. So anybody who has back issues, anybody who has shoulder issues, this is actually a really nice one for you all to utilize on a daily basis. Okay, so let's get going. I'm actually sitting on a stool today. I don't even know why I'm doing that. All right, let's get rid of this said stool, put that over the side, okay? We'll come over to the wall. So make sure you definitely have some wall space, maybe even a block, because you still want to be able to engage the legs when you're facing the wall. All right, so with the hands on the wall, let's take the fingers or the hand like shoulder width apart and start to walk the feet back. As you walk the feet back, okay, and when you have scoliosis, I think I've mentioned this in a few of the videos, I want you to have a mirror when you're practicing so you can see what your body is up to. Okay, walk the hands, so the hands are now in line with the shoulders. Have a look at what the sides of the body are doing. Have a look at your feet, etc., etc. Okay, so from here, literally all you're doing is pressing the hands into the wall. Right? So you're trying to get as much length as what you can. Remember, the legs don't have to be bone straight. They can be a little bit bent here. When the legs are bent, okay, you're reaching the buttocks towards the back of the room. So remember, when you're doing this, you don't want the rib cage to kind of just flare open like this. So you don't want it to be like a puppy stretch. Right? You want to try and keep the integral action of the spine. So you don't want the spine moving into natural flexion like this. You want to keep the spine trying to get long as much as possible. Okay? So, make sure you're spreading through the toes. Let's start from the feet once again. Okay, spread through the toes. So I want you to press the big toe down and lift the rest of the toes up. Spread the toes, then press the little toe down, and then press all the other toes down. And notice there's a width now to the foot that you may not have had before. Okay? Keep the buttocks going backwards as much as possible. There can be a gentle bend in the knees. If you realize here that your legs are literally doing nothing, and grab hold of a block, place the block in between of the legs here. Maybe you adjust the feet a little bit, go back and do the thing that I said to do with the feet. Okay, and then you're squeezing into the block. So when you squeeze into the block, actually the block is probably even better. Get the block or the shoebox. Yeah, so once you get here and you start squeezing into the block, okay, you will notice that the outer hips should start to get involved. Or you'll notice that the legs, it's like a spiraling action. The flesh goes around the bone like this. You'll start to notice that natural action will happen. You can place the block in between the legs or as high as the groins, okay, as high as what you can hold it, and then you're squeezing into the block. And when you do this, you'll start to notice this lovely length. It starts to happen around the lower back. You notice what the pelvis is doing. Notice the pelvis isn't doing this tilty back. So I want you to notice this. this tilty back, we don't want that happening at all. Don't be here thinking the legs have to be straight. And when the legs are straight, look what happens to the ribs. When you have scoliosis, what are you looking for? Yeah, I know you can't answer me. You're looking for space. You're looking for space, okay? So bend the knees, squeeze into the block. Look at what is happening to my pelvis when I'm doing this movement, okay? Bend the knees a little bit, squeeze into the block. And you see that little bit of elongation that happens in my lower back? That is like the sweet spot, team. That is what we're looking for. You know, it's such a tiny movement, but with that tiny movement, it changes how you do the pose completely. It changes how the body feels. So remember, when you're here, all right, the hands, no, I need to go through the rest of the body first. So keep getting long through the sides of the body, through the ribs, the intercostals, the shoulders, you know, roll them away from the ears, produce a little bit of space around the neck, maybe shake out the head a little bit here. Keep the elbows just as straight as what feels good, and keep pressing all parts of the palm, fingers, the pads of the fingers into the wall. This is already plenty, to be fair, okay? I want you to stay here for at least 2 minutes, and when you're staying here for these 2 minutes, I now want you to bring the attention into the breath. Remember what I was talking about in a few videos back, okay? The breath. So for me, that left side is actually what needs my attention, all right? So when I'm breathing, remember what I said about the front of the ribs, you know? That front side of the left ribs wants to go forwards. So when I'm inhaling, I'm drawing those ribs in. As I'm exhaling, I'm trying to get longer, okay? So you just try not to allow the ribs to flare too much with this kind of thing. Try to keep the ears in line with the inner arms. And notice if this pose reminds you of something. It's like a, you know, it's a nice version of down dog, basically. A different version of downward dog. So you'll be here and you'll just bring more attention into the breath as much as what you can. Yeah, notice when you lose the subtle engagements and try to bring them back. Yeah, stay here for about 10 breaths, minimum. And keep finding little sweet spots that allow you to find the embodiment in it as well. You know, you don't just want to stay here and think about the linear sort of version of things, i.e. the bones are stacking on top of bones, so everything is good. You also want to consider the 3D action of what the breath is also bringing. Remember, the breath is not just, you know, not just side A and side B. There's also the C side. There's also the C side as well. And with that C side, as in not the beach, and with that C side, okay, you need to make the breath a little bit more of a 3D action. Don't just make it just in and out. So there also has to be, you know, there's not just like an in and an out. There's also that width, you know, that width as well that you're using with the breath. And with the width, that's where we'll start to find, you know, that special potion that we're looking for, especially for the concavity. So this one, I've actually really enjoyed this morning. This has actually been really good. Because what this did for me this morning, it stretched out the side that's a little bit tighter, that's a little bit stronger. But with that side that doesn't allow for a lot of breath to come in, you know, I felt the prickles of the breath as it was going up through the muscles. I did feel prickles of the breath. It's a really interesting thing because it shows there are various parts of the body where the breath doesn't fire, and this then becomes a little bit of a problem for us later on, okay? So make sure you're doing these things every day. So team, let me come back to my stool. Yeah. So thank you for joining me, everybody. Hey, Catherine. Yeah, thank you for joining me, everybody. It was wonderful to see you all. Remember to keep moving. This is the key. This is the aim of the game. Move it or you will lose it. All right? Have a fabulous rest of the day. And I'll see you again tomorrow with another fabulous pose. Ciao for now.